Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more true crime story. The sun had barely risen over the Idaho mountains when a park ranger stumbled across a scene that would haunt investigators for years. Nestled beneath tall pines in a remote part of the forest near the Canadian border, a faded green tent sat zipped up and silent. Outside, a small, half-burned campfire gave off the last whispers of heat. Inside the tent were the bodies of 3 young girls, lifeless, cold, and covered neatly with a blanket. There was no sign of their father. Travis Decker was no stranger to these woods. A 42-year-old veteran of the Marines turned backwoods survivalist, he knew how to disappear. But no one, not even his closest friends, could have predicted what would happen on that Memorial Day weekend. The perfect disguise of normalcy. In their small town of Silver Pine, Travis Decker was seen as a quiet, devoted father. After a rocky divorce from his wife, Melissa, custody battles had consumed most of his time and energy. But to the outside world, he had turned things around. He had won partial custody of his 3 daughters, Abby, 9, Lily, 7, and Grace, 5, and appeared to be trying to rebuild his life. He told co-workers at the local hardware store he was taking his girls on a wilderness weekend, just a dad bonding with his kids. He packed food, camping gear, and his beloved compass just like he did when he trained in the military. The girls were excited. Neighbors saw them dancing on the porch the night before they left. By Monday morning, all 3 were dead. The horrifying discovery. The ranger, checking on an illegal fire report, came across their campsite near Black Bear Ridge, an area not often visited by casual hikers. The bodies were discovered neatly laid out. No signs of a struggle, no defensive wounds. It was as if they had gone to sleep and never woken up. But autopsy reports would later reveal the truth. Each girl had been sedated and smothered. There was no suicide note, no goodbye, just an empty sleeping bag. Travis Decker's. A father vanishes. Law enforcement was alerted immediately. Helicopters were dispatched, and dogs combed the area. The only thing missing was Travis and the family's red Toyota 4Runner, which was found 12 miles away near an old fire road, keys still in the ignition. What followed was confusion. Why would a loving father kill his own children? Had he snapped? Was it a murder-suicide that hadn't gone as planned? Or was this something more cold and calculated? Then came the most chilling detail. All of Travis's identification, bank cards, and phone were found burned in the campsite fire pit. He had wiped away his digital footprint. He was no longer a grieving father, he was a fugitive. An eerie calm. As detectives began to piece together Travis's last known movements, a disturbing narrative started to form. Surveillance footage showed him buying sleeping bags and rope 2 days before the trip. A store clerk remembered how polite he was. Like any other dad, she said. But something about his eyes. They looked hollow. Melissa, the girl's mother, was inconsolable. I trusted him, she said through tears at a candlelight vigil. I never thought he could. I just wanted the girls to have a dad in their life. As the town mourned, the search turned desperate. Travis had military training. He had survival skills, and he had a head start. A father's motive? Investigators found letters in Travis's home. Unmailed, angry, cryptic. He had lost custody of the girls for a short time after a domestic disturbance call in 2022. His ex-wife had filed for full custody again. He felt the system was stealing his daughters. One note read, "If I can't have them, no one will. I'll protect them from this cruel world. Even if it means I leave it too." The letter was dated 3 days before the camping trip. Whispers in the woods. Despite national headlines, Travis Decker was nowhere to be found. Bloodhounds lost his scent near the river. A man matching his description was spotted days later in a hunting lodge 70 miles away, but vanished before deputies arrived. That same week, someone broke into a ranger station and stole dried food, water filters, and maps. Was Travis still out there, living off-grid? Had he planned this escape all along? Or had he taken his own life in the wilderness? His body yet to be discovered? The sheriff stood before cameras that week and said, "We are not just looking for a suspect. "We are hunting a ghost." The deeper authorities dug into Travis Decker's past, the more disturbing the picture became. What began as a search for a missing father quickly unraveled into something much darker, because Travis hadn't just disappeared. He had been planning to vanish. A trail of red flags. In the immediate aftermath of the murders, Silver Pine residents painted Travis as a reserved but kind man. Quiet but never violent, they insisted. But the truth lay beneath layers of silence and sealed court records. Investigators unearthed a troubling domestic history. In 2019, Melissa had filed for a protection order, citing aggressive behavior, controlling tendencies, and paranoia. "He would accuse me of things I never did," she wrote. "He said God was telling him I was trying to take the girls away." While the court granted a temporary restraining order, Melissa withdrew the request months later, reportedly at Travis's urging. He promised to change. Counseling followed. Then came the custody agreement. But his mental state never fully stabilized. According to close friends, Travis had become obsessed with conspiracy theories in recent years, particularly those involving government surveillance and family court corruption. He believed he was being targeted, that the system was out to destroy him. One coworker said, "He talked like the world was closing in on him. He told me once, 'You'll see. I'll disappear, and they'll never find me.' I thought it was just talk. It wasn't." The disappearance blueprint. Investigators found an encrypted USB drive hidden inside a hollowed-out Bible in Travis's home. What it contained was chilling. A 60-page document titled Exit Strategy. It included maps of the Canadian wilderness, lists of cash-only supply stores, and fake identities created using deep web resources. He had spent months, maybe years, preparing for this. Even more disturbing, entries that read like a manifesto. One section detailed his belief that his daughters were already ruined by society, and that only he could save them. In his words, "Their mother feeds them lies. Their teachers feed them confusion. I will free them, then I will free myself." This wasn't just a father on the edge. It was a man who believed murder was mercy. The online clues. Digital forensics revealed Travis had been active in obscure online forums discussing sovereign citizen ideology and off-grid survival. He was especially focused on how to disappear without a trace. In one post, he wrote anonymously, "If someone wanted to fake their death and escape north, they'd need 3 things. No phone, no bank trail, and no conscience." Chillingly prophetic. He had also browsed dark websites offering fake passports and how-to guides on defeating facial recognition systems. Some of these searches dated back 2 years before the murders. Had he planned to kill his daughters all along? Or did something finally snap? Melissa's regret. Melissa Decker was interviewed by 2022 weeks after the tragedy. Pale and tearful, she described the moment she realized something was wrong. "He didn't answer texts after Saturday night. That wasn't like him," she said. "But I didn't panic. Not at first. I thought maybe they were just enjoying the woods." She broke down when asked if she ever feared he would harm the girls. "I didn't think he'd hurt them," she said. "I thought he loved them too much for that. But now I think maybe it was all about control. About punishing me." When asked if she believed Travis was still alive, Melissa hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, he's out there. And he's watching." Strange sightings. Weeks turned into months. There were sporadic reports of a bearded man seen trekking alone through rural Montana and southern Alberta. Hunters spotted someone matching Travis's description near Glacier National Park. In one case, a trapper reported a man speaking with a military cadence asking for directions. He disappeared by morning. Despite intensive search efforts, nothing confirmed his whereabouts. Authorities suspected he might have crossed into Canada on foot. The FBI joined the manhunt, classifying Travis Decker as armed, dangerous, and mentally unstable. But no confirmed sightings. No body, no farewell, only silence, and the lingering horror of 3 little girls buried far too soon. 3 months after the grisly discovery of the Decker girls' bodies, the question still haunted investigators and the public alike. Where was Travis Decker? The manhunt that followed became one of the most intense multi-agency operations in Idaho's history, But it also exposed just how easy it can be for someone with the right skills and mindset to vanish. First leads or false hope. Within a week of the murders, sightings began pouring in from across the Pacific Northwest. Some were obviously false. Conspiracy theorists and attention seekers calling in claims they'd seen Travis in a Walmart or hitchhiking along Interstate 90. But a few reports felt eerily credible. One witness, a retired forest ranger in northern Montana, swore he encountered a man who fit Travis's description near a remote trailhead. He said the man was gaunt, bearded, and speaking with a quiet urgency. He asked me if the border was being patrolled heavily, the ranger said. When I asked where he was headed, he just nodded and walked away. A trapper found a burned-out campsite in Alberta, just across the Canadian border. Among the ashes, a U.S. Marine Corps badge and an empty bottle of melatonin later confirmed to be the same brand found in Travis's abandoned truck. Surveillance footage from a small-town pharmacy in British Columbia showed a man wearing a hood and sunglasses buying antiseptic and bandages. Authorities couldn't confirm it was Decker, but the build and posture matched. Each lead triggered renewed search efforts. Drones, helicopters, scent dogs, but the trail always went cold. The survivalist's advantage. FBI analysts built a detailed profile of Travis Decker's survival strategies. He wasn't just hiding. He had prepared for this escape meticulously. He knew the terrain. As a former Marine and wilderness enthusiast, Decker understood how to evade drones, avoid leaving tracks, and live off the land. He disconnected. With no phone, no digital devices, and fake identities likely in play, tracking him was a digital dead end. He timed everything. The murders occurred just before a long holiday weekend, giving him a 48-hour head start before the bodies were even found. Investigators believed he was traveling at night, using national forests and closed trails to avoid detection. He may have even received help, though no accomplice was ever confirmed. A message from the shadows. Then came the envelope. Mailed from a small town in Washington state, the envelope arrived at the Silver Pine County Sheriff's Department 2 months after the murders. Inside was a single note, typed in bold letters. "They're free now. No more lies. You won't find me unless I want to be found. TD." The envelope had no fingerprints, no return address. But the postmark was real, and it gave agents their best lead in weeks. A week-long operation followed. Law enforcement canvassed the town. Cameras were checked. A surveillance photo from a local bus station showed a man resembling Travis, but the resolution was too low to confirm. Still, it confirmed one chilling truth: he was watching. Melissa's living nightmare. Travis's ex-wife, Melissa, lived in a constant state of fear. "Every night I lock every door, every window," she said in an interview. "I keep thinking he's coming for me next." She was placed under protective custody briefly after an unmarked envelope was found on her porch, containing only a blank piece of paper folded 3 times. No message, no signature, just silence. Whether it was Travis or a cruel prank, the fear remained the same. "I lost my daughters," she whispered. "I don't want to lose my life too." America's Most Wanted. By fall, Travis Decker had been added to the FBI's Most Wanted list. Billboards went up. His face appeared on morning news shows, true crime podcasts, and across Reddit forums dedicated to missing fugitives. But still nothing. Theories ran rampant. He died in the wilderness and his body has yet to be found. He's hiding in plain sight using an assumed identity somewhere off the grid. He escaped to Canada or Alaska, living among recluses who wouldn't ask questions. Or worse, he was preparing to strike again. With each passing day, the fear deepened. What if the man who killed his own children wasn't done yet? The disappearance of Travis Decker wasn't just a fugitive case. It became a nationwide obsession. The murder of his 2 daughters, the carefully staged escape, and his haunting message to police made it feel less like a manhunt and more like a ghost story. People wanted closure. But what happens when a killer vanishes and justice is never served? Life without answers. It's been over a year since the girls, Macy and Lila Decker, were found lifeless in their beds. Their mother, Melissa, still wakes up in the middle of the night expecting to hear them whispering across the hall. Instead, she finds silence. and the gnawing dread that their father might still be out there. "Grief is one thing," she said in an emotional interview, "but fear, that never goes away." Melissa has since moved states, changed her name, and lives under protection. Still, she checks the locks multiple times each night. The question isn't if Travis will return. It's when. Unfinished business. Law enforcement hasn't given up. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit continues to monitor tips, most of which lead nowhere. But every once in a while, a sighting feels too real to ignore. A Montana hunter found a crude shelter in the woods with military-grade gear and hand-carved maps of Canadian trails. A hiker in Idaho spotted a man staring through binoculars from a cliffside. When approached, he vanished into the brush. A Canadian journalist received an anonymous tip that a ghost in the Rockies had offered someone food and firewood in exchange for silence. None of it led to Travis, but none of it could be ruled out. In the absence of an arrest, the FBI upgraded Travis Decker's file to high-priority long-term fugitive. His face now appears on the most wanted list's rotation board, right next to some of the most dangerous criminals in America. A family torn apart. What's perhaps most heartbreaking is how deeply this case fractured everyone who knew the Decker family. Melissa's sister, Claire, took in what remained of the girls' belongings and opened a small foundation in their name, advocating for better family intervention in custody battles. Travis's parents, who once defended him as a misunderstood man, now live in seclusion. They haven't spoken publicly since a reporter caught them leaving a post office with a package addressed to TD. Macy and Lila's old school has a mural of the two girls in the main hallway. Beneath it, children leave drawings and paper hearts. One reads, "I hope you're safe in heaven." Theories, speculation, and the internet. Online forums exploded with theories. Did Travis fake his death? Was he helped by a religious survivalist group? Is he living off-grid, watching news of his case with satisfaction? One Redditor even posted a chilling theory that Travis may be testing the system, seeing how long he can stay ahead, before returning to deliver his final message. The comment was deleted within hours, but it sparked new waves of fear. Was the killer communicating? Justice, a moving target. There's a reason this case lingers in people's minds. It's not just the brutality, it's the lack of resolution. The fact that someone could kill two children, send a note admitting to it, and still walk free haunts the American conscience. A former FBI profiler weighed in. Travis Decker doesn't see himself as a villain. In his mind, he was correcting a betrayal. Men like him are deluded, dangerous, and patient, and that's what scares people most. He's still out there, waiting, watching. One last envelope. Just before the one-year anniversary of the murders, a package arrived at the local sheriff's department. Inside, a music box, the same one Macy used to play before bed. A single photo of the Decker family, burned around the edges. And a short, handwritten note. Some ghosts don't need graves. Some stories don't end. No fingerprints, no DNA, but everyone knew it was him. The final question, is Travis Decker alive? Likely. Will he ever be caught? No one knows. But the people of Silver Pine haven't forgotten. Neither has the law, because justice delayed still isn't justice denied. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more true crime story.